Good morning, good night, and good evening, my loyal subscribers. And today we're bringing you Malta, the Tier 10 aircraft carrier for the British that is available for coal in the armory. I highly recommend this ship. I would give this ship a higher recommendation than FDR. I would purchase Malta over FDR. FDR is great for if you want to just have super tanky planes. But in my opinion, I think Malta is just as tanky planes, and you can launch your strikes faster. So, right into it, without the merits flag, 50% to credits, 105 to ship XP, 115 to commander, and then with a clan, 150 to free XP. Armor-wise, she's pretty tanky, but she does have 21mm nose and 21mm aft end. Her flight deck is 38 with 110 at its strongest. Now, side armor belt is 25, hangar armor 21, citadel armor is, well, not the best. So let's pull that away. Yeah, that's Malta's citadel. Even if you throw in that little tiny bit of armor, yeah, they can go right through you. Like, they, hypothetically, if a shell shot you with enough caliber, it could go right through the 21, right through the 25, and right into the citadel. Because when you add up that armor, there's not much there. Like, a Yamato could punch you straight through the bow at point-blank range. Montana, pretty much almost any battleship you're facing, except for French guns. So, Burgoyne doesn't have that punching power. Or I believe it shouldn't. I still believe it overmatches 21mm though. So basically you're overmatchable by practically everything. But if you show a broadside, you're dead. And I had a Burgoyne footage in ranked that I actually quad-sitted a Malta and barely missed a dev strike. And I decided not to show that because I was like, I don't think you guys want to see that. It was going to be setting up cross shots, but I decided not to. Now, for her attack planes, they're actually very decent. So, sorry about that. They have a hit pool each of 2440, minimum speed of 147, max of 191, engine boost time 5.5, reload 9 seconds, 4 planes in each attacking squad, 12 planes in all, 20 on deck, and it takes a little under a minute to redo one plane. So that's not bad. Now, for each plane, they get 10 rockets. So, per plane, that's like 40 rockets you're dropping. So, for rocket missions, Malta's a great choice. They do a max damage of 2350. Armor pen, 28. Most DDs you're facing only have a armor of like 18 to basically 25. 25 being the max, like, armored DDs like Ragnar, Kaba, L-Wing that have that 25mm plating on the side. You'll still pin those guys. I mean, if you can get a DD all alone and strike him constantly, you're deaf to DDs. That's just a given. Now, her torpedo bombers, 2500 max south each, a little bit slow on the speed at 146, max 184. Engine boost time, 22. Reload is 36 seconds. Again, same attacking squad planes, 4 attacking, 3, 12 in a squad, 20 on deck. Almost saying about the same amount of time, a little under a minute for plane regen. Now, since there's only 4, that's 4 torps. That's about 20,000 alpha damage. Actually, more than that. When you add that up, that's almost actually 25k in alpha damage, minus torpedo protection. You'll still do at minimum 15 to probably 16k. So don't underestimate these torps. They are slow though, and the range is pretty bad at only 2.4. Army distance actually pretty decent at 470. So you can get in there, drop them real good, and they can't really do much to avoid these torps, and then fall up real quickly as they try to dodge the first set. So these are really strong torps. These are some of your bread and butters. So use these carefully. Don't send these out first. You don't want to send these out. Send out the rocket planes or the dive bombers first. Use these to attack targets that are more isolated or priority targets that need to be killed. Now, her bombers are one of her best things, I think, ever. They do drop like the normal tech lines where they're kind of all over the place, but they drop so many of them that you're doing 10 to 15k chunks on battleships. It's so easy, it's ridiculous. It surprises me this thing hasn't been nerfed since. Do I think it's overpowered? A little bit. Only when it's against players that don't know how to face it well. Now, the planes have a pretty decent health pool at 2747. Or 2744, sorry. Max speed a little slow at 144. Max 182. Engine boost 22. Reload 36. 15 planes in a squad. 5 in each attacking squad. 4 bombs in each payload for 4,300 max damage. So that's about 20 bombs you're dropping per attacking flight. So 60 bombs in total. Obviously, you're probably only going to get maybe 40 bombs off at minimum. You might get 60 off if you're lucky. Now, the way these are pretty strong bombs. They do get 25 on deck, and they have the fastest plane regeneration of all of them at 46 seconds. So that's actually pretty good. Now, these bombs are special. Like Enterprise and armor-piercing bombs, these will chunk German battleships, Schlieffen, Kurfürst, Mecklenburg. You can chunk practically any battleship with these bombs. They do that much damage. You might not citadel them, but you'll chunk them. If it's a light cruiser like Smolensk, Sejong, Jinan, Colbert, Minnow, you name it, if it's a super light cruiser, you're going to citadel it. These things will citadel. Worcester, if you can make it past its AA, you will citadel it, but I would stay away from a Worcester. But any other, even a Minnow, you can practically wipe the health off a Minnow. And Minnow has been known to have decent AA. But there is not a bad thing about these squadrons at all. If you play conservatively and manage your plane reserves, you'll do fantastic. Artillery-wise, she only gets 8 47-pounder guns. So they're not special. So those aren't even hardly worth mentioning. Airstrike automatic. For subs, 1 bomb. Max payload 4,900. Range 8 kilometers. Again, the subs outrange you. If they know what they're doing, they can just dummy fire you and you're dead. The airstrike only works if they ping you. AA wise, it's average, not the best. She gets 9 6 mount, 40 millimeters. Then she gets, well, only her quarter pounders right here. So there's not a lot of AA. When you break it down, though, the majority of it's in long range and short range, or long range and medium AA. So long range at 144, medium at 312. 5.8 range with 1540 for the shell explosion. Again, if they get within that short range AA range, you're screwed. You can't do anything. Nakamov will probably just delete you. Let's be honest. Because it launches all of its attack squads and you can do it at a certain distance, a good Nakamov player could practically kill you. There's just no doubt about it. Maneuverability-wise, she's pretty fast at 34 knots. Turning circle massive at 1212 or 1220. And rudder shift abysmal at 17 seconds. So trying not to get spotted, and make sure you have an escape route if all possible. Again, concealment not the best at 15.2. You don't want to really spec with the concealment because you want to maximize your planes. into the build that I'm running, again, it's pretty standard. Air Groups 1, aircraft engines, torpedo bombers. Now, some people would go with torpedo health. I went with bomber health because I like to have my bombers, and that's one of your main tools. So I kind of went with a hybrid build, and then of course, flight control for aircraft preparation. And yes, they are pretty tanky already. You could take squadron health, but since they aren't the fastest, you want to take squadron speed, flight control module 2 for extra speed. You get 4 charges of fighters that automatically spawn, and then your damage control automatically spawns. So per plane, you get basically 3 fighter squadrons, so 9 planes, 9 fighter squadrons. Now, for exterior-wise, this is what you would look like normally. It's pretty ugly. I like this camo. I like the dark blue with kind of the olive drab on the top. It's just pretty. Now, for my build, this is my Audacious Captain, so I do run Air Supremacy, Improved Engines, Repair Specialist, Aircraft Armor, Survivability Expert, Sight Stabilization, and Proximity Fuse. I don't run Increased Armor because these planes are already fairly tanky. You don't need them. You'd honestly want to take either Squadron Engine Boost or Last Gasp for 19. And then obviously you could go Swift Fish, which would increase the arming distance and give you a little bit more knots, but I would honestly go with the arming distance and Last Gasp or Improved Engines. But that's legitimately how you would run a Malta. But let's get into the replay and we'll show you how this ship does it. Hello and welcome back to WoW's Operation Replays in Malta, folks. So we're on the mode, or temporary mode, Concealed Maneuvers, with Tier 10 ships this time. We've got Essex, Schlieffen, Colombo, Illinois, Smolensk, Ibuki, Seattle, and Kitakaze. Now, interestingly enough, there is only 5 humans. Wait, 6 humans, sorry. 6 humans on each side. And they are all basically in the same, thing. 2 battleships, or 3 battleships and 1 cruiser, and 2 carriers. Both Maltas, both Essex. So this is going to come down to skill level and the fundamentals of carriers. I send out the rocket planes because, 1, I can afford to lose these guys. As you can see, their Essex and their Malta send out bombers. Our only goal at this point is to spot and see what we can find first. Then we'll bring out the torpedo bombers and the bombers. The rockets still do damage, but they are also expendable. Our job is to just see what's out here. Okay, we find a load in Mecklenburg, and then we find the Chung and the Ibuki. Again, since half the team is bots, it's a little bit easier. Now, we get about only 1,000 on that DD. And then we go in with rockets on the Mechlin. Because our Schlieffen is on that side, and yes, the Schlieffen can kill the, mech. But it's always best to be sure. Now, the AP bombers on the Malta are just ridiculous. I mean, they're ridiculous, let's be honest. They chunk German battleships, they chunk any battleship for 10 to 8k. Light cruisers like Smolensk, they'll Citadel. So unfortunately, the way they drop, you aren't guaranteed to hit stuff. But I really enjoy it. I think it's a great ship. It's super easy to use. And just look at this Pommern, or this mech. He loses like 7 bombs and he takes 8k, 10, like, well, 9k of his health off. Almost 10k. And our Schleefen now has the health advantage on this guy. The only noise, though, is not having a good time. One, because he's getting focused by literally every ship out there. And those are all, and the Des Moines, the Pommern, are all human. And then he's got a buffalo he's got to deal with. Now the mech doesn't have Gutralunchens. So we're down 2 cruisers, and they're down a DD and a cruiser. But it's literally just me and the CV just screwing with this mech flipper. This poor mech. He can't do anything against us. Where I mean, the 2 CVs are just ganging up on him, trying to screw him up. Now we bust his engine. He's got dual fires. That was just a bad drop. Let's be honest. We do get 1 torp. And he's basically screwed. There's nothing he can do. I feel like, in terms of CV, both of the Essex and I both kind of worked real well together. You can see that their Monty's kind of doing, well, whatever. And their CVs are just kind of, well, out there. We do drop a fighter, so our Columbo can shoot this guy. But you can see, tier 10 flak, not much. You see, I'm just squeezing around all his AA bubbles. It's not even that hard to dodge, if anything. I have to drive through the last one, but if anything, his maneuvering doesn't really do much. Columbo hits him, I drop my bombs. 9 bombs for 11,000 damage. And the mech's gone. So the Columbo now has the ability to just go free farming. Now both me and the CV are going after the Buffalo, the Des Moines. Well, we're both really just going to go after this Des Moines because we both know that the Schlieffen can kill the Buffalo. That's just without a doubt. Essex activates his consumable and drops his minefield right into the middle of the gap. Now, the Des Moines can choose one thing. You can choose to anger to the Schlieffen, or you can choose to go in and take my torps. But he can't dodge all of them. He has to pick. And you know that, and the CV dropped a minefield in there. So while the Des Moines may not get caught in that minefield, unfortunately, the Pommern is going to get caught in the minefield. See, Des Moines is in the minefield. It's active. So, but he isn't activating none of his depth charges to blow the minefield out. The Pommern is, though. But the Des Moines gets caught off by guard by the Schlieffen's torps. It goes bye-bye. And we have armor-piercing bombs. Guess what? That poor Pommern is going to be in for. See, he tries to drop him the fire. But 11 bombs, we just wreck his health. Yeah, the fighters are going to lock on. We are worried, but we're not total. Again, CV goes in for his strike. I drop my bombs. That Pommern just got screwed in terms of health. Now, I am danger close, though. I am danger close, let's be honest with you guys. But this poor Pommern isn't having a fun time. He's in a minefield, He can't really angle or do anything. Yeah, he literally has to drive straight or stay in one place, like you saw in my Alabama review. He's screwed. He can't really do anything. And then he's got 2 CVs going after him. That's going to be 4 solid torps on this guy. And we're going to pick this guy up. There's literally nothing he can do. He's screwed. He's trying to capture the point so his team can win, but he's screwed. I mean, he's dead. Now, CV autopilot really screws me over this map. It really does. Because I put my carrier right where that island is. Right where the Pommern is, right in that island. I was going to go straight into that island so I could be safe. But autopilot, you know, screws me up. We get 30 rocket hits. Fortunately, 20 of them shattered. Now, we are in a minefield. Keep that in mind. We are driving into a minefield here. Oh. Now, we are taking also shots. But again, look at our CV. I put that CV right on that island. My CV is going to literally drive straight out. Because autopilot says, nope, sorry. But also, yeah, I'm gonna die. Or hopefully won't die, but I am providing valuable air cover to our Colombo. All the planes I'm shooting down means that he isn't taking a huge amount of damage. Now, I'm kind of fucked at this point, because I am basically sitting broadside to a Montana. But I'm literally just trying to provide AA support. And I've shot down 36 planes for, you know, our Colombo. 36 planes that he could have been targeted with. That are gone. Now, I instantly just pull the flight back. I'm just trying to do as much damage, because this is still a fully health Montana. My only goal is to get as much damage on this as possible. Solid, nice drop, beautiful drop. 14 bombs for 14,000. And then I've still got another wave. RC, the Essex is dropping another 11 bombs. Another significant amount of damage. The CV, Montana, goes after me. Instead of shooting the, Colombo. His primary focus should have been the Colombo. But the Colombo's able to just get on his side now. And he's screwed. Colombo is an easy ship to dev strike. But he's screwed. I might have died, but I still ended up with 2 kills and 185k. But for the most part, I only went after humans. I didn't go after bots. I went after humans. I shot down 39 planes. Now, the Essex is still pretty healthy, but look at their Essex. Our Essex is still full health. He's moving into the cap now. I've whittled down the planes enough so where our Essex can move in. Our Colombo doesn't have to worry because, one, the CV's planes are basically weak at this point. And CV drops a minefield straight on top of them. Now, their CV drops a minefield on our Columbo. Fortunately, these aren't instant activated, which is nice. Meaning our Columbo can get out of here. But at this point, you know, it's not a huge amount of points difference. I mean, if we could lost our CV or battleship, it would be fairly tied. Now, the mines will go active, but the CV will kind of squeeze out of them. But you can see he's taking out bombers. There's no bombers left on him. He's out of bomber. He's basically been... A CV's been deplaned, which is rare. And you got that one little bomber. There's no way it's going to make it to the Columbo. The Columbo's basically safe at this point. There's the AA. And the bomber goes bye-bye. I mean, we just had better CV players, and that's what it comes down to. Columbo up there with 2141, Schlieffen 1999, myself 1986, Air 83, and then the Essex at 1637. But you literally look at the number. Columbo shot down 61 planes. I shot down 38. Schlieffen shot down 23. We basically deplaned these CVs out of like every plane. Damage wise, again, I literally just went after humans. I didn't go after bots. All my damage came from solid human players. I did take 3 mines for 12,000 damage, though. Still made a decent little profit, though. But a good match in the Malta.